complementary angles are two angles that add up to 90 degrees. So if two angles are complementary, then their sum is 90 degrees. If the sum of two angles, so this is what we call a converse of the initial statement. So if the sum of two angles is 90 degrees, then our conclusion is that they are complementary. So you'll notice that it switches the if and the then. We are going to learn that in the early part of the next section, is the idea of a if-then statement being flipped. That's called the converse. So the first statement is called the conditional. The second statement where we flip the if and the then is called the converse, and both are true in this definition. So complementary angles may either be next to each other, like you see this is adjacent, versus non-adjacent, they don't share a common side. Each angle we would describe is the complement of the other angle. And this is in the same section as another word called supplementary. Supplementary are angles that or supplementary angles, two angles are supplementary, then their sum is 180 degrees. And the converse of that is also true. So if the sum of two angles is 180 degrees, then they are supplementary. And just like complementary angles, they may or may not be adjacent to each other. So those are pictures of adjacent versus non-adjacent supplementary angles. And each angle is described as the supplement of the other. So sometimes we're given one of the angles in example 4. Measure of angle A is 55 degrees. Find its supplement. So if the two added up to 180 degrees, I apologize, they asked for complement and supplement. So for the complement, the two angles add up to 90 degrees. So I find the difference between 90 and 55, and I get 35 degrees. Can I have you guys go ahead and figure out the supplement? Okay, angle X and angle Y are supplementary angles in example 5. Find the measure of each angle if the measure of angle X is 6x minus 1 and the measure of angle Y is 5x minus 17. So the question is, do I set them equal to each other, which is sometimes what I have students do. The answer is no, they're supplementary. So I would find the sum of the two, so 6x minus 1 plus 5x minus 17, and set it equal to 180 degrees. So be careful if on these problems on whether you set it equal to 90 for complementary and 180 when it's supplementary. So together these are like terms, 11x, and then these are like terms on the same side. So minus 18 equals 180 degrees. I add 18 to both sides. I get 11x equals 198. X is therefore equal to 18. Now, if I stopped here, I would only have partial credit for this because I didn't answer the actual question, which was find the measure of each angle. So I then have to take the little x and plug it into both expressions for measure of angle X and the measure of angle Y to find the actual measures. So when I do that, I would say the measure of angle X is equal to 107 degrees. Can I have you figure out what the measure of angle Y is equal to? Our last example here, P and Q are complementary. The measure of angle Q is 4 times the measure of angle P. Find the measure of each angle. So I will brainstorm a little bit here. Complementary means that they add up to 90 degrees. They're describing the measure of Q as 4 times the measure of P, which we have no idea what the measure of angle P is. So I'm going to define X as measure of angle P. So if I were to come up with an expression for the measure of angle Q, I'd have that the measure of angle Q is 4 times that of the measure of P, which is X. So 4x. These two expressions add up to 90 degrees. So therefore, if I write my equation, I would take 4x plus x and set it equal to 90 degrees. 4x plus x is 5x equals 90 degrees. X therefore is equal to 18. Now they did want me to find the measure of each angle, so x is 18 degrees. Measure of angle Q is 4 times 18, so 72. Measure of angle Q equals 72 degrees, while the angle measure of angle P is equal to 18 degrees.